I feel like it would be really helpful to get a job on campus because that would be like easier in terms of they would probably understand like your workload and be more flexible with you. But I unfortunately didn't get a job on campus. Like they are very competitive, and I've been told you need like it really helps if you have like a reference who can refer you.
G'day and welcome to the Choosing Your Uni podcast. I'm your host, Rob Malicki, coming to you today from Garigal Land in Sydney. And my guest today is from the University of New South Wales. She's a second, maybe a third year student studying psychology and marketing. MJ, welcome to the Choosing Your Uni podcast.
Hi, Rob. It's nice to be here.
It's great to meet you. In fact, you and I met for the first time on campus at UNSW. We were at a pitch night for the entrepreneurship program. We might get to that story a little bit later, but tell me a little bit about your journey into UNSW. Was it hard settling into with meeting people and like?
So I feel like initially I was really enthusiastic and I did try to, I guess, get out of my comfort zone and meet as many people as possible. I remember trying to make friends during a lecture, like a psychology lecture, and there was this girl sitting next to me, and I remember someone letting me know that if you want to see someone again, you have to really put effort into it because you don't have the opportunity to see the same people because really you need to, plan something. It's not like school where you're seeing the same people every single day for the rest of the year. So I asked this girl if she had Instagram and she was like, no, but I have LinkedIn. And then I never tried to make friends at a lecture again.
It was a bit overwhelming, was it?
Yeah. But I did eventually find friends through a lot of my interests. Also, I made friends based on some of my living situations as well. But I noticed that when you didn't live with people anymore, it got a bit harder to stay in touch. And then I started during uni societies. I went to a boxing class and I met a girl, and then we kept getting coffee, and then she introduced me to some of her friends. I joined a few clubs. There were other classes, more so my business classes, where I would have group projects, and with that you have more of that opportunity or a reason to talk to someone. So I make friends through that as well. And I'd say I'm always open to meeting new people and exploring different interests. And then it kind of just happens.
It's interesting, isn't it? I think it's one of the biggest fears that people have before they start university is oh my God, am I going to be able to meet people that I get along with? And it's true, those first year classes tend to be enormous, aren't they?
Yeah. I think with that, it is a valid fear. I've had friends even who coming into uni, they've struggled making friends. I find initially it can feel like you're meeting a lot of people, but you're not clicking with them. But I feel like the people I do know, they did eventually find their group. But it really depends on how you're using your time at uni. Because I also have other friends who will just come to uni. And these are friends I've met through class, some of my business classes. They'll just come to uni and they'll leave. And then they'll say they haven't made any friends, but I guess they just want to be there to do that. But I know, especially when you want to make friends and you're struggling because you're not meeting people that you really click with, it can feel a bit isolating, but it's just, you have to keep trying and trying and trying and maybe get out of your comfort zone. What helped me was doing a hobby, which maybe I wouldn't have normally done, but I really liked the people there. That was, I guess, salsa and Latin dancing for me.
Very nice.
Yeah.
How did you decide to do salsa then, if it's something you might not have otherwise done?
So I do really like dancing, but I didn't know about dancing with other people. And I like dancing, but normally it's just dancing by myself or dancing at a club or doing a dance form where it's just you and not a partner. But my friend who I actually met through coffee after that boxing class, she would do it a lot, and sometimes she would invite me to things, and her friends were really lovely, and I was like, okay, these people are really lovely, maybe I should try this out. And I actually liked it, and I got better, and I began to enjoy it.
Awesome. I liked what you just said a moment ago too. You were saying, this friend that I met with over coffee after a boxing class.
Yeah.
What I find beautiful about that is everybody's in the same boat when you start uni, almost exclusively. Yeah. People aren't coming into uni with a bunch of friends from high school or the like. And so just being able to say to anyone at the end of a lecture, hey, you want to grab lunch now? What are you up to now? I want to grab a coffee, is such an easy thing to do. Whereas that kind of feels almost scarier, I think, when you're in high school, right? Like, friendship groups is really difficult.
Yeah, I think you can look at it that way, or you can also look at it as like a clean slate and a fresh start, like as cheesy as it may sound. And also with that, like I would also, on the other hand, meet people and we would get each other's Instagram and then we wouldn't stay in touch. Not because they were nice people or we didn't click, but it's really that you do need to make that effort. Me and this girl I'm talking about, like we would go like 3 months without seeing each other, but when we would see each other, it would be really nice.
Yeah. And relationships are built over a long period of time, lots of little touch points. So it's not like you need to start hanging out all the time together, but it is just about saying hello, isn't it? People that you recognize. Doing what you're doing, like you've got a big smile on right now. Like I think just smiling and saying hello to people will make people want to say hello to you.
Yeah, and I feel like you need to, I don't know, it also depends because I find that I'm not the kind of person that's very shy to do that. Like I just go into situations, like not in an arrogant way, but I just go in thinking that people will like me. Like what reason do they have not to like me? And then I'll get to know them and okay, maybe we won't click. But I think it helps to have that mindset. But I know it can be harder for some people to do that. But on like the other side, because uni is so big, if it doesn't work out, you probably won't even see this person again.
So once you started university, you're in those big first year classes. What made you decide to go and join some clubs? Is that something you'd already decided that you wanted to do? Or is it just sort of like out of curiosity to see what else uni had to offer?
Yeah, I kind of always wanted to. Like, I was very excited to go to uni. And I wanted to, I guess, make the most of it in every way. Like, I would listen to TED Talks and I would, like, watch videos of people already at uni. So I feel like I really romanticized that period of my life. So like I knew that that's what I wanted, but I know that sometimes people can join clubs really late and they've like regret it. Like one of my friends graduated the other day and asked me if he had any regrets and he said, I just wish I had joined those clubs earlier. But when I came in initially to uni, I joined the running society and it was like a really good like community and I guess I was fitter back then. But then where I got busy because I kind of found like a social life based on my living situation at that time. So I didn't then put as much effort to like maintaining those friendships. But then like my living situation changed. And when I was living by myself with people who I didn't really know that well, I found that like I wanted to join clubs, kind of fill up my social battery because I am an extrovert. So I took that and got back into that.
That's cool, isn't it? One of the things I love about uni is that there's sort of something for everyone there, isn't it? Whether you're an extrovert, you're an introvert, you're interested in whatever you're interested in. There are literally thousands and thousands of people there. You will find your tribe. Genuinely believe it's one of the best things about uni is that you can literally find your tribe of people.
Yeah, but I feel like people say that and people say go and like follow your interests, but I also think you should branch out and like you might find people you like with interests that are totally different. But UNSW is really good with that because we do have like so many societies and like ARC is really lively.
Let's dive into that a bit. So what was that last thing you mentioned? ARC?
ARC is really like organization on campus. It's not run by UNSW, I think, but it's affiliated with it. But they are basically responsible for all the clubs and they run all these events. Like even right now during the summer, they're doing something called Funner Summer, where there's all these events for international students where they can like take trips at subsidized costs just for people to like meet each other. So ARC does a bunch of stuff. Yeah. You can like volunteer with ARC. I used to volunteer on campus with ARC.
So depending if you're listening along to this at home, what MJ is talking about is essentially like the student union or the student guild that runs different events and activities for students. And every university has one. It'll be called something different at every institution because it would be too simple for every university to call it the same thing. So you said running. So do you do any other sports as well? You said boxing, running.
Like I'm trying to get back into it. I definitely do want to do more sport. But at the moment, I'm just swimming a lot. Like I just go to the pool and swim. I'm not really doing anything else. I would love to be more involved with sports. It's just I was also doing a part-time job during term and like then I was doing salsa and it just got a bit too much with that and then keeping up with my social life, studying and work. But I would love to get back into sport. Like I'm excited to take up hobbies over the summer.
Let's jump into that for a second. You were saying, you had a lot of stuff going on. I know you're working. Obviously, you've got your studies, you've got friendships. Tell me about what it's like to balance all those different elements of life when you're studying at university.
I feel like it would be really helpful to get a job on campus because that would be like easier in terms of they would probably understand like your workload and be more flexible with you. But I unfortunately didn't get a job on campus. Like they are very competitive, and I've been told you need like it really helps if you have like a reference who can refer you. But I struggled with it honestly because my workplace, when I had a really busy period in November, it was also super busy for them. So, like, my manager was rostering me on a lot, and sometimes there would be a bit of, I guess, pressure to work more than I was able to. But I then, I guess, had to be like, I can't. Like, it did make my manager unhappy, but it was really hard because I was getting almost full-time hours with uni, and it got very overwhelming. So I would say it is hard, but I think it would help if you found a job where, like, they're understanding and supportive. And it also depends on how much you need to work. Like, I don't live with my parents, so I'm paying my own rent. So to an extent, I had to. But I reckon I've noticed a lot of people in Sydney, they do live with their parents throughout uni. And I feel like that would be a big help because at least you don't have to pay rent. And maybe you can limit how much you work.
Sounds like you're good at setting limits though too, like where you're like, okay, well, I have to work because I have to live. So I have to work this much, but at the same time recognizing that you need the time to be able to dedicate to your uni studies as well.
Yeah, I think, and then also realizing that that is the most important. Like, I'm working to support myself through uni, not the other way around. And like that, it can feel really hard, but you just have to remember that in a way, even by studying, you are like investing in yourself because eventually you're going to have that piece of paper. So hopefully that works out. Yeah, but you just have to know what to prioritize at a certain time, I think. I wouldn't say I'm amazing at it, but I feel like I have a bit of a sense of what I need. Like I know I need some time with other people. If I just during finals, if I'm like, I'm just going to study, like that's not good for my mental health.
It's interesting how uni is such a great opportunity to learn that about yourself. I like to think of, life is almost in quarters, right? Let's say we're all going to live to 80. The first 20 years is really about family life. Your parents tell you everything you need to do. Your teachers tell you everything you need to do. And uni is like the start of quarter two. It's like the start of where you're in charge of everything. And you got to learn it all, right? Like how to manage life and manage study priorities and friendship priorities and health and well-being priorities. You've got to learn to manage all that stuff, and it takes some time.
Yeah, it does take time. Like I wouldn't say I'm perfect at it. I think I'll get better. Also, changing subjects really affected that. Coming into uni, I wasn't doing what I'm doing now. I was doing politics, and then I was thinking maybe I'll do social work with it. And I found for me personally, because I think my mental inclination is more towards humanities subjects where I would find it really easy. There were times where I didn't manage my time the best, but I would be able to write an essay the day before and get a credit. Whereas for some of my subjects now, it's actually quite hard to get the grades I want, even if I do try. So it changes with the subject. I reckon, yeah, it changes with your subject and how you approach it.
Let's dive into that. I think this is going to be really helpful for people listening at home. That decision to change from politics into marketing psychology. Can you tell me about that moment where you realized, yeah, I need to change, and you made the decision to do it?
For me, I really, really liked the humanities during high school. I used to really like history and politics and English. And then I came to uni. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to study, but I took some politics classes and I liked it. I just feel like maybe just the curriculum and not going beyond that, it didn't feel stimulating for me mentally. I did have a really good lecturer, but it didn't challenge me enough is what I felt. The way I would describe it is it didn't light my soul on fire anymore. I wasn't that curious. And then I thought, I know, especially with a degree that's as general, if I was super passionate about it, I would be able to proactively seek out those opportunities to eventually get a job and like use something as general as a politics degree to like get somewhere. But without that passion, it would be harder for me to do. So I thought maybe I need to find what's the right fit for me. And it's really hard choosing majors. It is. But I think a student support advisor gave me the advice of like, you need to see if something aligns with your values. You don't necessarily have to know what you want to be. So the way I thought when I chose my subjects eventually, it was psychology. It challenges me and I'm interested in it. So it's like that balance. So that's my value. Like I want to be intellectually challenged. And then with marketing, I was like, well, maybe if I set up something someday, that would help me. Or like I'm a creative person. I'm interested in it.
Awesome. Let's talk about marketing and psychology then. For somebody that's maybe thinking about studying in those areas, give me like a look behind the curtain. What's it really like?
Okay, the degree I'm doing is a Bachelor of Psychological Sciences majoring in marketing. So I'm studying psychology and marketing. But what that does is that means I don't have to separately do a Bachelor of Science in psychology and a Bachelor of Commerce in marketing. So I reckon it shortens my degree down a bit, even though like my structure is a bit skewed because I took time off and stuff. But yeah, no, UNSW is really good with that. Like a lot of psychology degrees, you can pick a double major like human resources, optometry, anatomy. It's really good with that. In terms of the behind the scenes, I think with psychology, what I've heard from people older than me is a lot of the times, a lot of people don't think through like the requirements of like how competitive it is. Like it is very, very competitive to become a psychologist, and you don't just become a psychologist after a 3-year degree. You need a certain grade. I think you need to be in around the top 20% to get into honors. And if you don't, like you have to find alternative paths to get into honors or you can't become a psychologist. So that's something to think about. And apparently I was told by someone older than me that a lot of people don't, and then it can be hard, or like they like want to, I guess, get their grades up in like their last year. So that is something to think about. Like, I think when I went into it, I just knew I really wanted to study psychology. Like I kind of had the confidence that I would figure out what I wanted to do regardless, even if that didn't work out specifically. But if you want to be a psychologist, I would say like know what's required to be one.
Who do you think would be well suited to it?
So if you're like sure that you want to be a psychologist and you enjoy it so you can do well at it, and also you need to have some level of mathematical ability. It's not just theoretical. There's like statistics as well. So you should know that. It's not like you're going to escape.
Quite a bit of statistics.
Yeah. And I think just if you have a genuine curiosity as well for the subject, but like that, of course, is really important, but also thinking about the long term of like, can you live with that instability and that pressure?
And what about on the marketing side of things? What are you enjoying most about the marketing side? And who would be well suited to the marketing?
So with marketing, I think the experience that I've had really depends on the class. There was a class I did, but I had high expectations for it. I don't know if I should say what it's called, but I felt like the content didn't actually match my expectations. Whereas there was another class I did where the professor tried extra hard to make like the class really hard for us because we didn't have a final exam. Like the professors decide what your final is. Our final was we basically had to make a model of every single concept taught of consumer behavior throughout the course, and then take that and then apply it to a product that you get on exam day and justify it. And he was like, that'll basically help you retain it in the long run. So it was unconventional but harder because you really had to get it an understanding. But I still really enjoyed it. Like I find the examples really fun. I just really like learning the psychology behind marketing as well. There's nothing really, I would say if you do the degree that I am doing, which is psychology and marketing, a Bachelor of Psychological Science majoring in marketing, the one downside is I can't access a lot of, I guess, the advantages that the business school puts out for its students, like career accelerator and internships. Like UNSW helps you get an internship if you're a business student. But if you're like doing a degree where the umbrella is psychology and you're majoring in marketing, you can't access those internships. Like I've sent emails and everything. Yeah, so that is one downside.
Sorry, just on that, can I just jump in then? But I imagine that through the degree you're doing, there would be other opportunities open to you that also aren't open to students in doing business, for example.
Yeah, so there's like, I guess in terms of the psychology degree, I do get emails that are like work integrated learning related to psychology. So there were a few the last time I checked. There was like an NGO you could work at that worked in prison reform. And then there was like a psychology clinic, but where it basically helped them with marketing. Also, I know a girl who did an internship at a psychology clinic, and at the end of it, they even let her sit in on sessions. I'm not fully sure how that works and like the ethics around it. But yeah, so they do give you like science opportunities with the degree.
Last question for you, MJ. If somebody is in the process of choosing their field of study, and their degree for that matter, what advice would you have for them?
I think if you're struggling to figure out what you want to do, which I get is a lot of pressure, like at our age, the values thing really helped me, where I was given the advice of like, try see if the degree aligns with your value a bit. So you don't necessarily need to know where you're going, but it's like meeting one of your values. But I would also say, like, do look at options as well. Don't just study something because you enjoy it. Like, you don't want to get to the end of your degree and then, like, I guess not be where you want to be. If you're prepared to deal with that uncertainty, like, that's good for you. But you should look into it. But also don't be too, like, if you don't like math, maybe don't search up highest paying jobs and go with becoming, like, a finance officer or something. Like, think about what you like, what you're good at. And what's like that balance of like hard, but you like it.
MJ, thank you for joining me on the Choosing Your Uni podcast.
Thanks for having me.
At Choosing Your Uni, our mission is to make finding your ideal institution and your degree fun, easy and stress-free. So if you're looking to save some time, to discover more and to get personalised advice for every step of your journey, check out choosingyouruni.com. Our theme music is composed by Pasha Shogi and his band Flow, and this episode has been researched and constructed on Garigal land in Sydney. Until next time, have yourself an awesome day.